Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
Brought to you by GlanviaConnect.com.
Hello, welcome along to your weekly farming programme. Well, as usual, it's Kieran O'Connor with a packed show, and once again, a very busy Farmview for you. This week, on this week's programme, I'll talk to Michael Buck about his very successful strawberry enterprise Glen Fruits farm at Clonea in Dungarvan. We'll also hear about plans to commemorate Dungarvan Co-op's 100 years and a request for memorabilia for a special history book being produced. I'll also have details of the upcoming Moore Park Open Day Growing Sustainability with Dr. Pat Dillon, and plus, as always, we'll have our farming calendar.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanviaConnect.com. Thousands of products in the palm of your hand.
Well, as always, with Wimbledon just around the corner, of course, part and parcel of this time of year is, of course, strawberries and cream. So early this week, I went out to Buck's Strawberry Farm in Clonea and Glen, just outside Dungarvan, to talk to the man himself, Michael Buck. Michael, it's strawberry time of year, but of course now, strawberries all year round.
It is, Kieran, yeah. We start now in April and we grow right through until the end of October or early November. So the season has increased and quite a lot since we started 30 years ago.
Michael, as regards the business, just before we come in here, 30 years ago you set it up. You went to Kildalton College, you got the bug and really took it from there.
That's right, Kieran, I did. I fell in love with strawberries a long time ago, and I said the passion is still there. I hope we're growing ever since, yeah.
Michael, as regards strawberry, starting off initially, obviously it was very much a seasonal crop.
When we started back, Kieran, it was probably from May until September. The 1st of September, it's probably 3 months, but it has changed now with technologies and different growing systems, so we have a much longer season than we had going back, yeah.
So what you have now, obviously we're here, I can see all the tunnels all around us as such. Is everything now under tunnel?
Everything is under protection, Kieran. We start with our early crop under glass. We have some heated glass, and then we progress onto our tunnels, and then we have tabletops with rain cover. So everything is protected because strawberries are a soft fruit and they need protection from rain. If you have a thunder shower or whatever, the quality is destroyed if they're hit by rain, so they need a protection.
So because of the facility here, is strawberry really all year round now, and is demand all year round?
Yeah, there's a fantastic demand for berries in general, not only strawberries but all other berries as well, because they're no longer considered a luxury. They're actually a health food and they're very good for you and very healthy for you as well. So people are consuming quite a lot of berries. In particular, when the Irish season starts, we get a great buzz, and there's a great demand for Irish and local in particular as well. It's very, very good.
As you expanded, obviously a huge risk, literally putting all your eggs in one basket. Just before we came here, you said 95% strawberries, 5% raspberries. Mm-hmm. It was a big gamble, but my God, was it the right decision?
It was. When we started, it wasn't normal for a grower to produce one crop. Most growers had a series of crops, but I felt we needed to specialise in what we were doing and to be the best we could. So quality was our driving force, so I felt we needed to give it our full attention, which we did, and it actually paid off and it has worked very well for us. We've been very fortunate and very lucky.
Now, of course, it's very much a family business. Yourself, your wife, your son Diarmuid, very involved, but a lot of staff as well now, a lot of hands on deck.
We have. It's a very labour intensive business here because everything is by hand. The planting, the picking, the packing, it's all by hand, even though we have a top sealing machine there for sealing, but it's still by hand. So we have up to about 40 people at peak production here, so it's quite busy, yeah.
As regards the planting and indeed the looking after the whole husbandry of the plants, is it getting more difficult?
I wouldn't say it's getting more difficult, but it's a very challenging and very competitive business, and you need to be at the cutting edge of it there. So every day is a school day. We're learning every day as we progress, and we're continuously doing trials and different things there. So it's very interesting.
It's not initiated as such a strawberry plant. What type of time are you talking about from when you plant it, when you can start picking fruits, and what do you get out of a plant?
Well, this time of year we plant, and we have what we call a 60-day crop. It's a cold store plant. So once you plant it, you normally get your crop within 60 days, and then we can take a full crop off that plant the following year, and then it's not viable after that to produce any more from it. On a commercial scale, we replant again then for the following year.
So as you grew, obviously there's a huge change in the whole retail business and indeed your business as well. But first of all, the local support you've got from both businesses, from restaurants, from hotels, the local support obviously starting off was crucial for you.
Absolutely fantastic local support, and we'll say customers that we had 30 years ago, we still have them. They're still with us, which we're very proud of. Been phenomenal, actually. It's very, very
So
good.
in Dungarvan and Waterford, who are we talking about as your big supporters as such?
Well, well, just to name a few, we'd have Garvey's and we'd have Country Store and we'll say Arkeen, Village Green Growers, so people like that, and the local hotels and restaurants as well. Not just they're all buy off us as well, which is
obviously
great.
The supermarket chains, they put a lot of pressure on business. Again, before we come in here, you told me Aldi has been your number one, and over the years and getting bigger and bigger with you.
That's right. We started supplying Aldi stores. This is our 20th season with them, and we're very proud of that as well. We have a fantastic relationship with them, going from 4 stores when we started, and they now today have 137 stores today.
You mentioned earlier you're here, you're packing. What way does it work with Aldi as regards distribution for all those stores?
Yeah, we pack here and we deliver on to their 2 RDCs, the one in Naas and the one in Mitchelstown, and we orders once we start with them 7 days a week.
So each day a couple of trucks will leave the Buck Farm here in Clonea?
One truck will leave every day, yeah, correct, yeah.
You're 30 years involved, but you're still as enthusiastic as ever. As regards the varieties and indeed the whole business as such, the change has been there, but you're really changing with the change as such. You've adapted year on year.
We have, yeah. El Santa will still be our main variety, but there are other varieties we're trialling as well and looking at as well. We still consider the flavour from El Santa probably the best. There'll probably be something to replace it, but not here yet, so we'll see what happens in time.
The fact it's all year round, and before it was a luxury product, are you happy to have it all year round as it is, or did you enjoy it more when it was more a seasonal luxury product?
I suppose it was probably a bit easier from a production point when it was on a shorter production cycle, but now you just have to move with the times and produce what your customer wants. It's as simple as that.
But Michael, Glen Fruits Farm has been such a success story to yourself, your wife, your son Diarmuid. My God, everyone down in the region are proud of you. I'm glad that the locals are supporting you, and I'm glad you've had such a good working relationship with Aldi, because people might talk about some of these big multinationals destroying a grower, but you really had the opposite experience.
Absolutely the opposite experience, and we have a very good working relationship with them. As I said, we work closely with them and we produce what they require. They're hard taskmasters, but they treat us well, and we appreciate that as well.
Well, Michael Buck, Glen Fruits Farm, great to talk to you out here in Clonea. It's a fantastic success story. Best of luck with Glen Fruits Farm, and keep the strawberries rolling.
Thank you very much, Kieran. Appreciate that.
Well, one of the big days every year, of course, are biannually on the dairy farmers' calendar is the Teagasc Moore Park Open Day. Well, this year, the Teagasc Moore Park Open Day for 2019 will take place on Wednesday, the 3rd of July. It's a few weeks away, but joining us on the line to give us an update on how things in preparation are going for the big day is Dr. Pat Dillon of Moore Park. Pat, first of all, it's always a huge day for the dairy fraternity, but this year you're going with the title Growing Sustainability.
Yes, Kieran, that's our tagline, Growing Sustainable. In recent times, we've seen a significant increase in dairy cow numbers, as we know, up to 30%. Milk production has increased over 50%, and that has resulted in significant increases in dairy exports from the Irish economy. And it's also resulted in increased profitability at farm level, which is really important.
It's really becoming a must for all farming, and particularly dairy, to hit those sustainability targets.
Yeah, Kieran, and sustainability in terms, the challenges in terms of sustainability are around climate change, water quality, and an adequate supply of skilled labour on dairy farms. So they are the real 3 challenges for the dairy industry going forward.
As regards from an economic point of view and indeed from a grassland point of view, farmers have really embraced the grassland technology and the breeding technology. So really the sustainability is literally the last box to be ticked.
Yeah, and Kieran, the really important thing is that grass-based systems are very sustainable. I mean, in Europe, Irish dairy farmers produce the most sustainable dairy products. I mean, they're the lowest carbon footprint dairy products in Europe. So our grass space gives us that competitive advantage. And also from a marketing point of view, I mean, grass-fed dairy products are seen as a premium product worldwide now, seen whether you go to Asia, China or the US. So we have really a significant advantage going forward in terms of our dairy industry.
So therefore, as regards the event on Wednesday the 3rd, it's a few weeks away, but I suppose we want people to put that date in their diary. But will it be the same station format right around the farm and stands right around the enterprise up in Moore Park?
Yes, Kieran, generally the same, but we always add new things to it every year, and there'll be more emphasis on sustainability. As I said, lots of demonstrations in terms of grazing management, slurry application, use of new nitrogen fertilizers. They're all again in terms of increasing the sustainability of our system. The Farm Forum is a very different Farm Forum this year. It's about meeting the challenges and opportunities of continuing expansion. For the forum, we have really got experts right across the sector, including Kieran Fitzgerald, which is a food economist, and he's shown really seen clearly the advantage of the recent expansion in the dairy industry to the Irish economy. And then we have Matt Crowe from the EPA talking about the challenges in terms of water quality and the environment. We've Ola Walsh talking about on the food side, what's dairy foods from grass-based systems, the advantage, and John Jordan, the CEO of NOAA, in terms of markets going forward.
Well, Pat, as I said in the intro, it's always one of the big days. It's a biannual event, but this year, the Teagasc Moore Park 2019 Dairy Open Day will take place in Moore Park, just outside Fermoy, on Wednesday the 3rd of July, with a theme of growing sustainability. Dr. Pat Dillon of Moore Park. Pat, as always, thanks for taking our call. We'll talk to you near the big event when we'll preview the big event in more detail. Thanks for taking our call, Pat.
And thanks, Kieran, very much.
Well, this year, 2019, Dungarvan Co-op celebrates its 100th year. Fantastic milestone, and because of the year that's in it, the West Waterford Advisory Committee have decided to celebrate it in style. Indeed, Glanbia have decided as well to join in celebrate in style this 100th year. And to discuss this, we're joined by former Waterford board member and, of course, advisory member from the Ardmore area, Michael Keane. Michael, a huge milestone for Dungarvan Co-op.
Yes, Kieran, it was a mighty achievement in its day. In difficult times, of the vision of the people to form a co-op. We must remember at the end of the First World War, and we had a lot of troubles on a day-to-day basis in Ireland at the time. But we must admire the vision and courage and admiration of the people who had the idea, who drove it, and who got the share capital together, and who registered a co-op and set it up in business.
It was huge at the time, and really it just shows you the strength of the whole cooperative ethos that Plunkett had set up.
Yeah, well, it was the co-op had been around rural Ireland for maybe 2 or 3 decades. Waterford hadn't that many co-ops at the time. There were a number. There's a few in the county have already celebrated their centenary, but a lot of them didn't. Time caught up with them. But Dungarvan went from strength to strength. I'm not saying it hadn't the difficult patches. From what we read and talk to people in the past, it had a lot of challenging periods, but it came through them all.
And of course it started as Dungarvan and then expanded, and then of course in the 60s was the big one. It became Waterford Co-op.
Yeah, well, it started in Dungarvan, and then it was co-ops local, All Parish, Grange, Clashmore, Aglish and Kappa all became, and then we had Dura and others, and Manbridge, Clashmore came, Clashmore as well, involved as well over time. So, and it was that way it was up to the mid-60s, when in the mid-60s Kilmeaden, Galtier and Carrick Millvale joined up to become Waterford Co-op.
Again, that was huge at the time because people are very proud of their local co-op, but the size and scale of Waterford at that time, there was great visionary both from management and particularly from the farming community and the shareholders.
There was, Gil, but there was also another thing coincided with the time, the start of the change from bringing the churns to the local creamery to bulk milk collection. The two kind of coincided at the time. Waterford was the first co-op, or Dungarvan, Waterford was the first co-op in Southern Ireland to bring in bulk tanks. My understanding is they had been in Northern Ireland, and a group of farmers from Dungarvan area went up to see them in Northern Ireland before they bought them, and there was 50 bought originally from Golden Vale in Charleville.
And that was huge, Michael, because it was such a tradition, bringing the churns to your local creamery, getting the bulk tank and getting the truck to come out and collect in your yard. That was revolutionary. That was huge.
It was, because I suppose there were two ways of bringing the churns, and a lot of people brought them themselves, and then as well there were private hauliers who collected churns and brought them either to Dungarvan or to the local branch. It depended on your geographic location and the distance you had to go at the time.
So Michael, it's 100 years. Everyone is anxious, both within Glanbia itself from a management point of view, and of course yourselves within the West Waterford Advisory, the Dungarvan Committee, where it all started. You're very anxious that it's celebrated properly. There's talk of the end of August, a big celebration in Dungarvan, but more importantly, and that's why you're on with me this week, is a book to celebrate the 100 years.
Yeah, the West Waterford Committee are basically the continuation of the people who started the branches in Dungarvan Central 100 years ago, and there's just a representative structure for the area, and we have decided that we're going to do our best to commemorate what has happened over those 100 years, and part of it is we're going to publish a booklet on it, and what I'm looking for today is appealing for information, be it old photographs in particular, photographs of any event, be it milk intake, grain, trading, sponsorship, opening of plants, especially employees, retirements, even anything that people would be connected with the old Dungarvan / Waterford Co-op.
And obviously, as you say, Michael, pictures tell a story, and there's people out there with, I'm sure, pictures in their household, and you say memorabilia covering 100 years is a long time, but there's families out there, I'm sure, have some fabulous photographs, and getting those into the book would be very, very important.
Yeah, well, look, we're appealing to people because we know there's information, people have them. It's to find them and people to. What we're asking people is is if they give us them for a short period of time, if they bring them inside the shop in Dungarvan and they, for 1 week, we take care of them there. They'll be put into an envelope and filed, and then they'll be scanned, and then when people put their name and phone number on the envelope, and a week later they'll be contacted and asked to collect them again.
Well, definitely that worked well in Kilmeaden for the celebrations. Martin Kennedy very much involved in all the staff in East Waterford, but getting the stuff in. So you say your appeal is anyone out there with photographs, mill statements, logos, whatever.
Yeah, also we had a magazine, Pipelines magazine, for about 20-year period, and there must be some of them definitely around. The old before computerisation came in, we had handwritten statements. We were appealing for some dockets of people. So any milk statements, trading statements, invoices, pipeline magazines, old annual reports, branch events, staff events, any co-op events, milk quality awards, or even sponsorships. Any of those that have involvement with the co-op, we're appealing for those photographs.
So you're saying dropping into Country Life to Lisa, any of the staff in Country Life in Dungarvan, you will scan, look after and hand them back, but they'll be included hopefully in this book which is going to come out at the end of August.
Yeah, look, we can't say what will be and won't be, and we're gathering as much information as we can at the moment. We're very fortunate that we have a Dungarvan stroke Abbey Sideman on board, Patrice Brannock, who is in Newton University, a well-known historian, and he has come on board and is contributing to the book. And we also have Jim O'Brien, who is well-known as well, and he's helping out with the book.
Well, Michael, I think it's only right and proper that Dungarvan Co-op is celebrated properly. It's 100 years. There's lots of families, and like your own, going back generations of involvement with the Co-op. There's lots of photographs out there, memorabilia. The appeal is over the next couple of weeks. Get those photographs or memorabilia, whatever you mentioned there, statements, whatever, pipelines and Co-op annual reports into Country Life in Dungarvan. They'll be scanned and handed back, but more importantly, it would really help to make this Co-op 100 a booklet to remember.
Yes, Kieran, we're appealing for people, and we want people to do it soon, because we hope with the booklet in motion from the 1st of July. So we need them in the next 2 to 3 weeks, please.
Well, Michael, the appeal is out there. Best of luck with the appeal, and I know the people within the West Waterford area won't be found wanting to bring forward any memorabilia they have. Michael Keane of Ardmore. Michael, thanks for coming in, telling us all about it, and best of luck with the booklet, indeed the 100 celebrations at the end of August.
Thank you, Kieran.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanbiaConnect.com. Thousands of products in the palm of your hand.
You know, before we hear about the upcoming Moore Park Open Day, let's have a look at some items from our farming calendar. First of all, turning to Dungarvan Mart. Well, it's General Cattle and Calf Sale Monday morning at 11 o'clock in Dungarvan Mart. On farmer markets, this Saturday, Waterford Farmers Market, John Roberts Square, as well as the Butlerstown Market. And also, of course, on Saturday mornings, we have the Stradley Market in the Cove Bar. Sunday, this is More Farmers Market every Sunday from 10 until 4 at the Castle Avenue in Lismore. While in Ardmore for the summer months, we have the Ardmore Farmers Market every Sunday just off the beach car park from 11 until 3. Thursdays, Dungarvan Farmers Market every Thursday morning, Grattan Square in Dungarvan. While on Fridays, we have Dungarvan Country Markets, Causeway Tennis Club in Abbeyside. And also on Friday mornings, we have Waterford Country Markets in St Olave's Hall. Now, mobile training have begun to tell us in Dungarvan that a Farm Safety Code of Practice half-day training course will be held on Friday next, the 14th of June, at their premises in Springmount, Dungarvan. The course is a core requirement for TAM's grant scheme. And for more information, you can contact Mobile Training at Springmount in Dungarvan. Noting from Teagasc, and we'll preview it later in our programme, the Teagasc Moore Park Open Day will take place on Wednesday the 3rd of July, and we'll feature it later in our programme. While finally on the show jumping front, the unregistered show jumping leagues are up and running at Phelan's Farm in Kappa every Thursday at 10 in the morning and also at 5 p.m, with 3 shows to qualify for the league finals.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanbiaConnect.com. Ireland's biggest online farming shop and more.
Well, one of the big days every year, of course, our biannually on the dairy farmers calendar is the Teagasc Moore Park Open Day. Well, this year the Teagasc Moore Park Open Day for 2019 will take place on Wednesday the 3rd of July. It's a few weeks away, but joining us on the line to give us an update on how things in preparation are going for the big day is Dr. Pat Dillon of Moore Park. Pat, first of all, it's always a huge day for the dairy fraternity, but this year you're going with the title Growing Sustainability.
Yes, Kieran, that's our tagline, Growing Sustainable. In recent times we've seen a significant increase in dairy cow numbers, as we know, up to 30%. Milk production has increased over 50%, and that has resulted in significant increases in dairy exports from the Irish economy. And it's also resulted in increased profitability at farm level, which is really important.
It's really becoming a must for all farming, and particularly dairy, to hit those sustainability targets.
Yeah, Kieran, and sustainability in terms, the challenges in terms of sustainability are around climate change, water quality and an adequate supply of skilled labour on dairy farms. So they are the real three challenges for the dairy industry going forward.
As regards from an economic point of view and indeed from a grassland point of view, farmers have really embraced the grassland technology and the breeding technology. So really the sustainability is literally the last box to be ticked.
Yeah, and Kieran, the really important thing is that grass-based systems are very sustainable. I mean, in Europe, Irish dairy farmers produce the most sustainable dairy products. I mean, they're the lowest carbon footprint dairy products in Europe. So our grass-based gives us that competitive advantage. And also from a marketing point of view, I mean, grass-fed dairy products are seen as a premium product worldwide now, seen whether you go to Asia, China or the US. So we have really a significant advantage going forward in terms of our dairy industry.
So therefore, as regards the event on Wednesday the 3rd, it's a few weeks away, but I suppose we want people to put that date in their diary. But will it be the same station format right around the farm and stands right around the enterprise up in Moore Park?
Yes, Kieran, it's generally the same, but we always add new things to it every year, you know, and there'll be more emphasis on sustainability. As I said, lots of demonstrations in terms of grazing management, slurry application, use of new nitrogen fertilizers. They're all again in terms of increasing the sustainability of our system. The Farm Forum is a very different Farm Forum this year. It's about meeting the challenges and opportunities of continuing expansion. For the forum, we have really got experts right across the sector, including Kieran Fitzgerald, which is a food economist, and he's shown really clearly the advantage of the expansion and recent expansion in the dairy industry to the Irish economy. And then we have Matt Crowe from the EPA talking about the challenges in terms of water quality and the environment. We've Orla Walsh talking about on the food side, what's dairy foods from grass-based systems, the advantage, and John Jordan, the CEO of NOAA, in terms of markets going forward.
Well, Pat, as I said in the intro, it's always one of the big days. It's a biannual event, but this year, the Teagasc Moore Park 2019 Dairy Open Day will take place in Moore Park, just outside Fermoy, on Wednesday the 3rd of July with a theme of growing sustainability. Dr. Pat Dillon of Moore Park. Pat, as always, thanks for taking our call. We'll talk to you near the big event when we preview the big event in more detail. Thanks for taking our call, Pat.
And thanks, Kieran.
Well, before we go on our racing and point-to-point front, good week again for local connections. Great week last week for young Dungarvan jock Sean Houlihan, who rode winners at Worcester and also at Newtown Abbott. While back at home at Fairyhouse, we had a win again for Rathgormack trainer Pat Flynn, and also at Kilbeggan, a nice winner for Henry de Brommet, who was back in the winners' enclosure, of course, at Tramore as well at the 2-day meeting, where, of course, pride of place goes to Tramore trainer Pat Flavin. What a success. A hat-trick of wins for the Tramore trainer and, of course, for the Miracle Cure Syndicate. And also a great win at Listowel for the Carroll family, owner and breeders, and a great win at Listowel on Monday last. While at Wexford, we wins for Waterford owners Kay Brown and also the Fasty for Fun Syndicate. While on the point-to-point front, at our final point-to-point of the weekend, nice to have a local winner in the winners' enclosure with young Tallow jock James Hannon in the winners' enclosure at Kinsale. Well, that's it for this week's programme. So from Ollie and Sound and myself, Kieran O'Connor, it's goodbye for now. But hopefully I'll have your company again, same time next week.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanviaConnect.com, Ireland's biggest online farming shop and more.